Hello everybody, you're probably wondering, Ranger, what do you got? Or got it? You're probably asking. I think I figured out the story and what the Marionette truly is. Now, yet again, this is my theory and a guess, and I think I stand by it 100%. Now, let's start first. Now, story. We know in the first 5 Nights at Freddy's that the pizzeria was going down terribly. 5 children disappeared and were horribly murdered, were stuffed in the pursuits. But except for the 5th child, we don't know what happened to that child. So, that's all we know about the children. We know the killer went to jail, or he's dead now. And now is obviously enough, probably back at the pizzeria, but in his skull and his soul form. Another interesting thing of the Bite of 87. Who called the Bite of 87? Definitely Foxy, as he's the only capable one to do so. Because he is the only one who's actually capable. Freddy not so much, and I think Freddy can never do that kind of thing. So, yeah. But there were certain things we couldn't do. One, we couldn't look in the kitchen. We couldn't look up the pizzeria. But why we couldn't look in the kitchen? Was there something in there? Well, there's been certain words saying, "It's me," around the pizzeria. Golden Freddy. The strange, let's say, cupcake. And obviously enough, weird sounds going on in the kitchen, like Freddy's jingle. But where was the 5th child? Where's the body? We definitely know Golden Freddy is more likely the killer, Soul. And you know what? I actually stand by that. Now, another interesting thing is that why is Freddy playing his jingle in the kitchen? Keep that in mind. Now let's get to the second game. We know it's harder, it's more chaotic, it's crazy, can't even get past night 3. Bloody hell. The old animatronics are still alive and active, but how? There's no electricity pumping through them. That's when Scott say they're haunted. The children's souls are powering them. But they can't power by themselves. They need something which can support them. Something which has been there the longest. Something which has practically been with them the whole entire time. It cannot be the new animatronics, as they're different and they're all different models. And obviously, they have some of the parts from the old ones, so they are malfunctioning. And now they're like the old ones, thinking we're an exoskeleton, but a costume. But another thing, these pictures with this strange looking creature known as the Marionette. Now think about it very carefully. The Marionette popping out a present and going surprised with wires. If you look in the Marionette room, you should see a shadow with some kind of metal bar or let's say lift. And the strings are attached to it. You know, like on the, those little wooden things you hold to make the puppet move? It's like that. And I think there could be metal bars or pipes on the ceilings for it to move around. And you know why I said it could, like, Commander style like Foxy does? Bloody hell, it came true, alright? And there's no stopping it. Just keep that music box wound up. But yet again, why would we need to keep the music box wound up? Or is the music box used to keep the Marionette asleep until morning? Now that's where it gets interesting. Small things like that can actually make you think, why would an animatronic need the music box to keep going to keep it asleep? Does this animatronic sleep? Or is this animatronic the 5th child? With music boxes, like you give to a child, mostly children, you wind it up and it helps them go to sleep. But when it stops moving or, let's say, doesn't play anymore, the child will struggle to sleep, basically going to the parents and bothering them. Or in this game, it wakes up, looks for a person, and horribly kills you. More like trying to give you a hug. And a horrible death. Maybe the support is with those strange little flashbacks, or let's say these mini games every time you die. Because there's only, I think, around about 3 mini games. Feed the children, give out the presents, and now follow the marionette. To feed the children with the cakes, you see at the top of the page is a child, but then you see a car going over with a person. That child suddenly turns into a marionette's face. The person goes back in the car and drives off, and then comes at you and kills you. Yet again, that supports a bit of the marionette theory, but it's that figure, the killer, who murdered the child which turned into the marionette, and then pops out and kills you. The other one where you play as Freddy, where you go and follow the marionette to the presents, and then you find the present, and then blood. You click this icon, and he kills you. And yet again, I think another similarity where you play as the you put the presents down, they come out with the animatronics, and you die by Golden Freddy. Now, yet again, this is quite interesting. To me, I think Golden Freddy and the marionette are the main source of all this hell. All the killing and murdering. No wonder they couldn't be stopped in the first one. It's been proven they can't be stopped. Even if they were dismantled or deactivated, they'll reactivate or reboot themselves, or, let's say, the marionette. I believe that the fifth child is the marionette all along. The marionette was in the game the entire time. More like in the kitchen. No wonder it was not in its... I know it's probably not in the game files, but I think Scott's been pretty clever. He's been playing with us. Remember one of those memory cutscenes as Freddy, we see the marionette in the old pizzeria? Maybe the marionette was in the kitchen, so every time Freddy played his jingle, it stayed asleep. So was Freddy, the original Freddy, not Golden Freddy, the good guy all along, but had no choice but to do these bad things, or the child which is in him becomes corrupt and evil and tries to kill you? The theory with Foxy, I don't believe. But this just reopens many questions. How can something this pretty simple be unnoticed? I don't know if I've been right or wrong, and I would like Scott to reconfirm it. I don't want some pro or anything to say, oh, it's obviously not right. The only person to know if it's exactly true is the developer, and developers are always right. Now back to the theories. Obviously the marionette, I believe, is the fifth child all along. Why would he need a music box to keep it asleep? Like you would do with a child, the more we keep that music box wound up, the marionette will carry on sleeping. Which is obviously enough, Marionette's obviously the fifth child, not the killer. But the Marionette's powering the animatronics, keeping them alive for the night, and trying to kill the guard. But the animatronics know if you put it on a 2 second late or something like that, they'll kill you because they're not stunned. But with the new ones, it's a totally different story. Because there's no doors, they don't have to rush and kill you quick. They could just play with you and then murder you. They stuff you in a suit like they wanted to do, but because you're not Mike and a new guard, they don't recognize Mike anymore. He's not there. But yet again, why would the marionette power up the old animatronics and order them to kill you? It's pretty simple. Now this is when Golden Freddy comes in. We know Golden Freddy looks bare looking ugly, twice as disgusting than the original. Well, I mean, he looks more broken down than he was, and he looks like he does belong in there, and actually does exist. I don't class him as a hallucination that much, but because he kills you, because the new guard has seen him, and Mike, really, how can it be a hallucination? And yet again, I think this is kind of I think something could support this. I believe the Golden Freddy's the killer's soul. Basically, the killer's soul is inside the suit, inside the animatronic, which was in the party room in '96. And obviously enough, the killer orders the Marionette, telling it, or the fifth child, he must have mostly tortured, murdered, and probably made that child watch and see why the others were being horribly killed. Think about it. If you think of what age this Marionette child must have been, think about it. Now, we are going to go over a bit of a gender here and age. Now, think about it. Now, boy children don't really have much hate. Well, men don't have a lot of hate, depending on certain things. If you're a family man, if anyone says anything about your family, you become very aggressive. If you're a mother, you become twice as aggressive if anyone says anything horrible about your children or try to hurt your children. So, I think the child in the Marionette is a little girl, probably aged to 1 and 2, which has twice as more hate, twice as more anger, wants to kill the Golden Freddy, obviously the killer, for what he's done. And obviously enough, was probably, obviously 5 children disappeared and died. They were probably raped, murdered, and killed. And then their bodies were hidden before the police ever found them. But because the police could never find them, what was the security guard doing to them? He was hiding the body for the evidence, trying to hide the evidence, but he still went to jail. This is pretty clever of it. Something nobody ever really think of. I'm pretty much shocked enough as it is. Now, obviously enough, I am going to carry on a bit. So, the Marionette's the 5th child, all along, was at the pizzeria, all along. And I'm going to stick by that. The Marionette was in the first one all along. Obviously not game-wise, but I think story-wise. You need to really separate the game-wise and story-wise. If it's there in the story, it obviously should be there in the game. Don't forget, Scott can change things, he can. Because an update did come out for the game. So with the Marionette being the 5th child, obviously being forced to kill, and obviously has so much anger and hatred, it can't even be stopped. And the music box calms it down and puts it to sleep. Pretty simple, right? Well, Golden Freddy, as the killer, wants you dead. So the animatronics can escape and go out killing. Pretty simple, right? Now this is pretty scary. So overall, Golden Freddy's the killer in his soul form. Keep an eye on the Marionette, making sure you don't keep it asleep. And obviously enough, the killer wants to carry on killing, but he can't. Obviously enough, the next bit, the Marionette is the 5th child all along, who suffer the most than their others. The 4 other children are probably like, could be 2 boys, 2 girls, and obviously enough have a lot of hatred, but the Marionette has twice as more than the rest. So, yeah, pretty scary, right? Now, another thing I think that the Marionette, one of the animatronics, it could be its sister. Maybe Chica. We don't know exactly. We know the Marionette, we don't know its gender, if it's male or female, but I believe the child soul could be a girl. And the rest, and the others could be a boy and girl. Now, this is quite hard to really think about, really. I know usually we should wait long until more varies, but really, I really believe in this. It just really catches my eye. Like, why do we really need to keep this music box wound up? You don't need to think about it. If you're an adult, you don't have music boxes to keep you asleep. You don't have one if you're a teenager, but you do as a child or a baby. So this, it's probably pointing out to a child. And that's when the 5 children come in. The story still carries on to the second one, but in a different matter. This is going to be pretty hard. If Scott Coffin is watching this, please, if any of this is correct, please confirm it. You have done so with animatronics saying they're haunted. I think I may have figured it out. I hope I have. But if Scott proves it wrong, oh well, it's a good try. But if Scott does prove it wrong, hey, I give it my best. Also, before I go, I did make a fan trailer for Scott Coffins, or known as Scott Games. So, it should be right here. It's called Five Nights at Freddy's fan-made trailer. I used some footage from the new game. I had to be really careful at the time, so things with a song. So yeah. But thank you very much for listening. Please share this video, spread it around. Same for the trailer. Also, like the video, put in your theories if you want of the story, because I think we don't have enough theories of the story. That's the question. So anyway, thank you very much. Goodbye. Also, Christmas is not far. So goodbye and thank you very much. And it's the fifth child, the Marionette. As you decide. Hey guys, so I may look like I'm not in my anything, with my hat and jacket. I was actually going to go upload and, well, first edit the video and obviously enough upload it, but this is going to be a bonus theory. I actually read a comment saying about one of the mini games, the one you play as, you know, the Marionette. Someone's saying like the Marionette is like putting the presents to draw the children and then kills them. That for the Marionette is the killer. Now, this is very intriguing and I am quite interested. Because in the game it says, give presents, give life. But this, I think I may change it a bit. I know that with the music box, that it could be the fifth child, or what that person said, it could be the killer. Maybe at certain times of the night, it's the killer, or it's hard to explain now. Like I said in the video, that I believe it's the fifth child. Because it's so blatantly obvious who the fifth child is. It can't be Golden Freddy. So now, this is going to be very hard now. I'm basically mind blown. So yet again, I may do a vote system now. See which one do you believe? And I'll start, and this is what this video will be. You put vote number 1. Do you believe that the Marionette is the fifth child because of the music box and many other things? Or vote number 2, that the Marionette is the killer and drew in the children and murdered them. Don't forget that the killer drew the children in a Freddy Fazbear costume, not the Marionette. So that's when we're referring to the Golden Freddy. Now, I'll do another 2 votes. Vote 3. Do you believe the Golden Freddy is the killer controlling the Marionette, and that killer, the Golden Freddy, has been controlling the Marionette, making the Marionette draw in the children and murder them? Or theory 4. The Golden Freddy is the fifth child, and the Marionette is controlling everything except for the guard, and wants to keep killing, so the murderer has so many souls, or probably so much people, probably to commit mass murder. That's a murder which no one solves, but except the pizzeria is on lockdown by the FBI. That's what I'm gonna say. It's a bit different, I know expected, but I want you, yet again, spread the video around, because this is gonna be a bit of a hard to decide now. So please share this video around as much as you can. Spread it to everyone, because this may be the point that we need to know what's the facts and what's not, because I think certain point we'll run our theories until someone like me has decided to do this kind of theory, which is quite interesting. So It's going to be hard to explain. Thank you very much for watching. Spread the video and please do so because this could be a big thing.